from there, how do we do this? How do you, no, how does this work? How does it work?
It's fine. It's fine. I'll get it.
Oh, okay. Does it have to be on this device, or is this your account? Like
It's
you
my
can.
account.
Okay, so you can sign in from another place.
That's
All
what I'm
right.
doing.
Okay. Does this look good? The same way
Yeah,
it was.
I can see Mims. Hey, Mims.
Okay. Great.
Hi.
This. Great. And we start.
Yeah. It's been a long time coming.
Happy birthday.
Okay.
Are we live right now?
Yeah.
Yes, we are.
We actually are.
It's the best part about it.
Well, happy birthday, Keneisha.
Oh my God, guys. Thank you.
It's a big day for you today.
Is it?
A very big
I
thing.
wonder why. What did I do?
For two things: being live and you being
being
an
on your
author.
birthday,
Wow.
and then on the launch of your amazing book.
What?
How do
Thank
feel
you.
about that?
Thank you. Thank you.
So
I tried.
this is your first time, talking about the book in general, letting the world know what's going on with it. So how do you feel right now?
Oh man, what should I say? I feel happy. I feel, one of the most amazing feelings that comes from doing this is just how special it is and that desire of wanting to do it again. I think that's like more than anything, that's what stands out to me from this experience.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Definitely. I can see how
Beautiful.
that is. What made you want to launch it on your birthday though?
I guess because it's super special to me, and birthdays are usually where people expect to receive things.
Mm-hmm.
I am into the business of giving things, and I think,
Oh wow!
yeah, one of the things that will make this birthday extra special to me is being able to give this to someone, as a way of helping them, because the entire book is about helping other people. From knowing where I have been and from the experiences I was able to garner over the course of my career, and knowing that other people, other women possibly are in a similar place and is just trying to navigate their way out of that place, and just being able to give them this as an answer to that, or as a guide to where they are headed, is super special to me.
God,
Yeah.
I can see that.
Right.
I mean, let's get into, how about, what do you have to say, Miriam? I know, I was just like, you have anything you wanted to say, because, you're like, your responses.
Well, first of all, I just want to say how excited I am to be a part of this. I feel really, really special. So,
but you are though. That's the thing. You are. You're a friend. You're a sister. You are so special to me.
You are special to me.
Oh, here she goes.
Oh,
and I'm so proud of you.
I could not see myself doing this without the both of you here by my side. Like, you have been like super special, and both of you have contributed in some way to who I am as an individual, and just how I want to see my future progress as a woman, and being an exemplar to other women. It's like so important that we can sit here and just do this. It's this like the energy in this room is like, it's just so much right now.
I'm really hyped, actually. I'm really hyped. And about your book. You were telling me, I want you to tell them, like, what was it that inspired you to even, like, the book cover? Let's talk about that.
The book cover?
Yes.
Oh my God. So, as you can see, there's this young fellow. He is like kind of trotting down the rail lines and just trying to keep himself balanced on there. And the reason why this resonated so well with me was because it reflects so much about the journey of entrepreneurship and all the risks that are involved, I tell people the journey of entrepreneurship is not for the faint of heart. So, it takes a lot of sacrificing, it takes a lot of just constantly pushing yourself, even when you don't feel motivated to move. And just, we can't always play it safe. So when I saw this picture, I was like, yes, finally, something that really is just saying what I want to say. He's having fun, but he's taking risks to do it. And that's why I was so drawn to this picture. There's a favorite quote by Denzel Washington that I like, and he said, "Ease is a much greater threat to progress than hardship." And I took that to mean that, if we're always to stay within the boundaries of our comfort zones, like, how will we know what we're really capable of? How can we really determine, like, what greatness is there for us to really accomplish? And so I am like that as a person. I always enjoy a challenge. It's like there's no better way for me to really live in the core of my existence than to be figuring something out and finding a solution to something. So I really, really just relish like stuff like that. So playing it safe has never really been it for me. It's, if anything, kind of kept me to myself, and I've not seen many great things come out of that, and I wanted to change that. So basically, the cover of my book is saying, hey, don't be afraid to pursue your dreams, have a little fun doing it, but also expect that you're going to face challenges along the way.
Yes. Wow, that is really, really inspiring, Keneisha.
It's really deep.
And right, and I really love the fact that you started out your book with touching on your mindset, because mindset is everything, right? I mean, the mind is really everything. And so yeah, I really appreciate it, because it really starts with that. I mean, if you don't have the mindset, the right mindset, or for example, the can-do attitude, or the positivity right there to start your journey, whether it's in entrepreneurship or whatever it is, to just get up and do your thing, or go go work out, or I mean, you name it, right? So yeah, I really appreciate that, because I've been in this journey for the past almost 4 years, and it's a constant. I don't know if I want to. And correct me, Keneisha, or I don't know if I want to call it a battle, but I'm in a constant battle with myself, with my mindset. Because I'll have days when, or weeks when I'm just so positive, and I have that can-do attitude. And then of course there are days when I kind of not really go backwards, but it's just days where you kind of have little doubts here and there, which I think is normal, right?
Right.
That's a
but
part
I think.
of it.
Right, but I think the intention to get there and taking the necessary steps to become who you want to become, or the person you want to look at in the mirror and be proud of, and having that intention and setting yourself up for success on a daily basis, I think is just is a lot of fun. It's a fun journey. It's been fun for me.
It is, and I think it's the same for a lot of us, Miriam. Like we all have days when we just feel like we're superheroes, right? We're like we have superpowers and we're willing to take everything on, and then there are days when it's not so easy. Even just to get up out of bed might be a challenge for some of us, but I think, if we have the right mindset, or if we're able to develop or cultivate the right mindset towards what it is that we're doing, not that we will completely eliminate those days, but we will minimize those days. And we'll be able to see the greater good of what it is that we're trying to accomplish. So it's like, how people say count your blessings? It's sort of like, yes, the obstacles are there, but the good times are even more than the bad times.
Yeah.
So why should I, waste time being mad or depressed or sad? And sometimes we're often waiting on people to cheer us on or motivate us to do what it is that we need to do for ourselves. I don't ever make it someone else's business to sit on the sidelines to cheer me on. Like, if I am not motivated about my dream, how can I expect someone else to be motivated about my dream?
Exactly.
You know what I mean? So I'm used to being the one-man band, and I'm okay with that. And sometimes you just have to remember that you're also still human. You're just a human. And it's totally fine to have one of those days when you just want to not care about anything.
Yeah.
But it's not about not being at that place. It's what you do. How long you choose to stay there is the issue.
Right.
And that's why it's so important for us to create a growth mindset, is what I call it. Because trust me, if we're always going to sit by and wait on other people, or say, well, I need to move from this place, or I don't know, I am living with the wrong people, and we're always finding someone to blame. Where do you find the time to realize how much you are capable of for changing your circumstances, for changing your situation? It all begins in your mind, and that's where it started for me.
Yeah,
right.
Absolutely. Taking control and having accountability for yourself.
Absolutely.
Yeah, it's really, that's the only thing that can move you. Because it's everybody's fault. What are you doing? You're the one living the life.
I know, right?
Right.
Somebody else's. Yeah. So at the end of the day, it's what you choose. It's what you choose. It's all your choice. You're in control of your own life.
Right.
That's
right.
It. So,
Absolutely.
Tell us a little more about, exactly what's in the book, a little summary of it.
All right, so let me kind of share the story behind this project. Actually, I started working on this book back in 2017. That's some years ago, and I knew what I wanted to do, and I didn't want to create a bestseller book.
Yes.
That wasn't my motivation. The motivation behind this book was for me to help someone. Primarily, that was the reason for it. So I sat there and I'm like, oh, I'm not going to sit and just try to perfect this. I'm going to write this book, and I'm going to be 100% authentic in doing it. So if you read the book and you know me personally, you will literally hear my voice talking to you. It's written exactly the way I speak. So if you're looking for like what your definition of proper grammar in English is, you're not going to find that, because that's not me.
Exactly.
Right. And that's what I really appreciated. It's very raw. You know, it's just raw. Yeah.
And as a person, I'm so to the point.
Exactly.
So like, I don't like for example, I read a lot of books. I have a lot of mentors that are authors, and I don't like wordiness. Like, if the books are wordy and it's like thick like this, and after you're done, you can't even remember half of what you read. So the intention here was for me to say what I wanted to say in a way that people can resonate with, and that you will remember, so you could practice all these principles throughout your daily life, right? Yes. So that was the point. But the story behind the book was, a few years ago, I was literally at what I like to call rock bottom in my my life. Like, I literally never felt like I could get out of it. And it was a very unreal place to be. Let me tell you, it was days filled with crying and depression and trying to figure out what's the point of living, because this is not it. You know what I mean? And I decided to read a book called As a Man Thinketh by James Allen. And I would encourage everyone to read that book. But as I read that book, I began to realize how powerful my thoughts were. And as I read the book, I began to hold myself accountable to the things I was learning. And I gave myself short-term goals that I needed to accomplish. And I was going to put James Allen's words to the test. Like, dude, you're saying all of these things. Let me see if it's true. That was kind of like my approach to the book. And so I began, and he talked about the power of thought. And I'm like, man, I can't just think something into existence. Like, what?
Yeah.
But no,
Right.
that's not what he's saying. He's saying that's where it all begins. Like, if you were to begin to cultivate the thought, then your mind would want to, tell you to put that thought into action.
It is.
So what do? And as I was putting his words to the test, I wasn't working at the time. And I decided I was going to be bold and I was going to follow all of these things that I was reading. And so I started reaching out to people. I got my laptop and I just started reaching out to people and say, hey, do you need someone to work for you virtually? Because I can do that.
Yeah.
That was literally how it started. And within like less than an hour after like just sending random messages to people, someone responded. And no, like I really just have to take a moment here and talk about this guy. His name is Jeet Banerjee. At the time I worked for him, he was a 23-year-old serial entrepreneur. And I talk about him in my book.
Right.
In chapter 2, I talk about vision. And let me tell you something. He was everything that I've never met my entire life of working in corporate Jamaica for so long and just meeting all sorts of people that I thought were the hitch.
Yeah.
And let me tell you, he was like a whole different level of consistency, of power, of growth, of success. He was the thing at the time. I'm like, no way. And I said to myself, the fact that he gave me this opportunity to work for him, it had to count for something.
It had to.
It had to count for something.
You put your mind there, because if it wasn't, you would have missed the opportunity.
Think about it. What are the odds, right? what are the odds that I was at the worst place I could possibly be in my life?
Yeah.
And I'm challenging my mindset now because of the book I was reading.
Exactly.
And then this guy literally responded to me after putting those words to the test. I'm like, okay. So it's working so far.
Yes.
But then after working with G, I was sort of the whole time I was sort of studying G more than I was working for him. Like every meeting, every conversation was about what I could learn from G. I was much older than he was, but he was doing everything I wanted to be doing with my life. What was the secret? The truth is there wasn't no secret. It was just a matter of him having a passion for what he wanted to achieve and just not letting anything get in his way of that. So I really have to shout out to like Jeet Banerjee because I told a little bit about his story in my book. And I told him, I wrote to him and I said, G, you've taught me so much and I want to share a little bit about you in my book. And he was like super okay with that. And if you don't know who Jeet Banerjee is, you could just simply go to jeetbanerjee.com and learn about who Jeet Banerjee is. He's not 23 anymore, but he is super successful still and still changing the game for a great many of us who want to, one day walk in his footsteps. So yeah.
Wow.
But literally, the story was that I needed to change my life.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And from having this encounter with Jeet and kind of taking note of what Jeet was doing that I wasn't doing in my own life, I was like, man, it was like super eye-opening for me. Like I needed to practice this. Why wasn't I doing what I needed to do in my life?
Right.
And it wasn't coming from a place of envy or anything like that because Jeet was super helpful.
Yeah,
like I could talk to him. I could say what if I wanted questions answered. And I remember I was doing a course for my degree in entrepreneurship that I do at BYU. I needed to do an interview with an entrepreneur. And I called him up and I said, hey, do you mind being my interviewee for this? And I was able to really open him up like a book and just get all of what I needed. It was for the first time that I could really relate to him. Like I wasn't just trying to study in the background anymore. I was asking him the more direct questions that I had. And trust me, he was an open book. He was an open book. And I loved that. So when my time with Jeet ended, I moved on to other people, and they weren't just like multi-level business managers or small business owners. I'm talking like top shelf super entrepreneurs that I've served over the course of my career. And I began to study all of them the way I did Jeet. That was literally it. Because I had a question for my life. There was this huge question mark over my head, and I needed to get the answers.
Yeah.
Right.
And I was just direct with them, and I said, hey, what's the motivation?
Right?
I asked.
Yeah, what is it?
I asked. And they answered. And some questions weren't direct, but they answered. Just having the opportunity to work for these people for, extended periods of time, I was able to see what their pattern was, the things they did. I know the advantages and the disadvantages and stuff like that, because I'm not trying to be like someone else. Despite trying to learn from them, I'm still trying to maintain my authenticity.
Exactly.
Because not because they're doing A to Z means I have to do it like that.
Yeah,
but there is a lesson, and I was going after the lesson as opposed to, the actual steps that they were taking, because they had to be themselves.
Of course.
And that's what I did. And I decided, after working for several of them for like over 10 years collectively, there were some principles that they all shared in common. They had these exact same principles. And I discovered that these were the principles that launched them, that propelled them to their success. And so I want to point out here that the whole study of these people wasn't for me to write a book about it. It was just for me to get something that I could begin to work on for myself. Once again, I was at rock bottom. Once again, I needed to find my way out of my situation. So it was for me. And then doing that little research turned into this book that you're seeing right here. Because over time, after getting the information that I got from studying these people, I was able to say, well, these are the principles that worked. And I started to apply that to my own life. I began to practice. You had no idea how hard I worked. Because take, for example, like I'm naturally an introvert. One of the hardest things you can ask me to do is to go talk to people. Because I'm sitting in front of a live stream right now, and it's not even affecting me. Before, that wasn't the case. I didn't handle rejection well.
That's gross. I
had low self-esteem. Like, I would never want to talk to people who I think were, like, I think they were better than me or more important than I was. It's a terrible place to live at. It's terrible.
That's definitely what you just said, a mental thing.
Yeah.
It was only a mental thing, because what made them better?
Exactly.
Exactly. And I think we can all relate to that, because I feel like we were all there at some point in our lives.
Absolutely.
And it's just so beautiful to look back and be like, wow, I mean, look what I've been through, and look where I am right now, and look who I am right now. Those things don't even bother me anymore.
Exactly. It's the growth for me.
That's really what it is. And that's why I'm so excited today, because the fact that you're on here explaining this life-changing book, like, this is crazy, because this is what it is, a life-changing book. You read this book, your life's going to change, especially if you do what you're supposed to do, and step by step.
And that's the thing. I didn't just share the principles like, hey, so you need to change your mindset.
Right.
I thought it would be best to tell people how they could do it and give them actual steps that they could practice in their day-to-day lives. So if you notice, like, at the end of each chapter, there's like practical steps that you could take. So if you're the first time hearing about creating a mindset shift, and you're not even sure of what the next step is to take, it's there at the end of the chapter that, hey, start today by doing this. Step 1, do this. Step 2, do this. And these are actual steps that I have taken, and that has helped me to change my life. Because not only am I just celebrating a book launch, but the principles that I have in this book contributed to the fact that I was able to start my business.
Right.
And I'm seeing growth in my business like I've never seen it before. I constantly hold myself accountable because I feel like if there's better to get, why not? You know what I mean? Why not? So that's the situation with that.
Yeah.
Well, I'm really happy about that, Ken, because I'm relating to it so much because when I first started, making the cakes and things like that, I was so unsure of like things were happening around me, and I call it self-sabotage. That's what I was going through because my mental is like I could physically do something, but mentally I was just like it was just crazy, and I would self-sabotage everything, and I really had to take a break. And then when I came back, I kind of just reinvented myself. And I knew for a fact that I was able to do this. Like, I have to pace myself. I have to do these things. Right. So that's exactly what I can relate to so much. Because you can do the thing, but if your mind's not there, it's not going to work. And it's not going to work as long as we want it to either.
Right.
So, that's my thing. I
can
totally relate to.
Right. And I definitely relate to that as well. As I mentioned before, like I've been going through this journey since about 4 years ago now. And when it first started, I started reading about, just shifting your mindset in general. And I was like, what does that mean? At first I was just like, I had no idea what that meant. And so, part of the steps that you have in your book, Keneisha, are so important to get to shifting your mindset or getting to that tick, having that tick in you, right? When you're like, okay, something changed. And I think part of it as well is affirmations.
Yes.
And it really, really helps because at first I was like, what does it mean? Like, if I just tell this to myself, oh, my life is going to change. And so, but really at first, because I really had no idea, I've never even heard of your mind or thinking this way will change you or the outcome will be better, yada, yada. So, and so it was a process, right? On a daily basis, you take the steps necessary, and then you affirm daily with positive thinking, positive thoughts.
Absolutely.
And then you just gotta have it in you. You gotta have that tick. You gotta want something so bad. You wanna wake up and feel good about yourself, right?
So, Absolutely.
Yeah.
It's not a coincidence that the chapters are in the order that they are. They're in that particular order for a reason. Because if you were to say, okay, I'm going to work on the principle of resilience. Can you imagine saying that to yourself if you're still stuck in a victim mindset? Like that thought would not even come to you.
No.
Because all you're seeing is yourself being the victim, right?
Right.
Yep.
So for me, what I needed to work on first was the way I think about things, the way I saw myself. And that's why the first chapter is creating a mindset shift. Because this is where you're going to position your mind for positive energy and positive thoughts. Because if you are stuck in a victim mindset, all you're going to see is why you cannot be, why you're not able to.
Right.
And the detriment to that is eventually you start believing these things about yourself. This is a limiting mindset.
Yeah. Very low vibration.
And then you become that. You eventually become exactly that.
Exactly.
You become envious. You become jealous. It's like, especially, you hear things about people saying, like, you're in school with people, you have classroom, everybody graduated together, and everybody is everywhere. So it's like, some people are here, some people are there, some people are there. And it's like, how did they get there? We all were someplace together, Right. So it's just like, it's just really their mindset. They made their self go that way. You made yourself stay here, and everybody else, it's only that. It's nothing else. They're not doing anything magical.
Nothing else. That's all there is to it. People blame the families that they were born into. People blame the geographical location of where they were born.
everything.
People
but...
blame the fact that someone did not offer them an opportunity. So why not create your own opportunity?
Exactly.
Like, I feel like who I am is completely independent of everyone else.
You're enough.
Like, yeah,
I
am enough. Aren't I, man? Like,
we are
enough. And it's important that you said that. Like, one of my birthday gifts that I'm gonna share with everybody is
so pretty.
this bracelet. This authentic bracelet that reminds me that I am enough, given to me by none other than her, Miriam. I really love it because it
one of a kind.
It's one of a kind, but it reminds me. It serves as a constant reminder that I am enough. You know what I mean? And
yes, you are.
It's important that I remember that because not every day I'm this, chirpy, ready to take on the world kind of K. But some days I question, am I doing this right? Am I doing the right thing? Am I a good mother? Am I a good wife? Some days none of it makes sense. You know?
Right. And imagine, just imagine a life where everything is just going so it's a smooth sail. Imagine how boring would that be?
There would be.
Because just not going through those doubts or obstacles here and there, and life could not just always be stable and happy and like you said, wake up and you can take on the world. It just makes it more interesting and it kind of spice things up when they, because you want to go through it all. You want to go through all the stages, right?
Right.
And even as we grow and even as we evolve, personally, I still want to go through those days where I'm doubting this or that, and because it teaches me so much. It teaches me so much about myself and how I want to become better.
Absolutely.
And do better.
Mm-hmm. It's sort of the question you asked, like, what if we had days where we didn't have these questions and doubts and challenges? There would be no room for growth because, it's sort of like, if there is no bad, how do we appreciate the good?
Exactly.
You know what I mean? So these are the days where we get to introspect and we really get in tune with ourselves and we say, well, how can I be better than I was today than I was yesterday? Better than I was.
For myself,
Mm-hmm.
What I call that for myself, I call it self-evaluation. Like, just, how we go through those quarters of, okay, things been good, things been bad. We just need to figure out, go back to the drawing board. Like, how else can I move? Or what else can I bring out? Or what else can I do? That's how I look at it as. Not so much, just like, just a little checkup. Figure out, like, okay, things is going good. What can be better?
I know.
That's really what it is. What can be better?
Right. Well, so how do you, Vernisha, how do you do that? So you have a drawing board, or do you like journal, or like, for example, me, when I go through doubts, or when it's just not a smooth sail, right? When I just wake up one day and I have so many doubts, or I'm just not, whatever it is that I'm going through, I just take my phone and I start, texting as if I'm texting it to that person who maybe got in my way, or even if it's not a person who got in the way, I'll just text it to myself, and it really, really helps me.
Yes.
On thinking on things on how to move forward, or on how to do things better, or how to handle the situation.
That's a good way. Also, I journal. And I also, I do the texting and things like that. Sometimes for myself, I just really have to just put it out there and let it go. Just let it go. Just let it go. Like, I put it on paper, just let it go. Like, it's out of my mind. I don't have to think about it anymore. And that's just it. And every time it comes up, I reassure myself, we're done with that chapter. It's over with. Like, it's done. So that's how I look at it.
That takes practice, because you know what?
Yes.
I was just a few months ago, I was that person who was always looking back. I was always looking back. I was always comparing to, oh my gosh, do you remember this? like how we did it this time or this time, and I was just constantly living in the past.
Yeah.
But it took me about 5 months of doing that work with myself, where anytime I'm thinking about something in the past, I immediately stop myself and replace it with a present thought,
Yes.
or I immediately just replace it with something better and not the past.
That's not happening right now.
You
Right.
know, it's important that you do that.
Mm-hmm.
And it just brings me back to chapter 3, where it says, be in charge of your influence.
Yeah.
You see, not very many people understand like how important it is to control your mental space.
Yes.
It's not a playground for everyone to come and run about in it.
Yes.
You know
all
what I
of
mean?
their
Right.
stuff, all of their baggage, all of their problems.
Like, I'm not inhuman, right? So you may want to share something with me. You're probably going through a hard time, and there are days when I can take that on and I can absorb that. But there are also days when I will have to say to you, can we talk about this later? Or in some situations, you may have to say, I don't want to discuss this at all, because this is not going to contribute to my growth or to the energy that I'm trying to have. You know what I mean?
You're respecting
That's
yourself.
how you control your influence.
Wow.
People don't understand. Like, they feel like everything that comes to them, they have to absorb it. Like, no, some things are not contributing to my growth.
It's unnecessary.
If you're going to come to me and talk about Vernisha, like, hey, stop right there.
Yeah.
Whatever you feel about Vernisha, whatever you have to say about Vernisha, did you say it to Vernisha? Because maybe you should.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then it's not like that, in some cases, you're probably having trouble. Like recently, I've had this experience with an associate that I work with, and I felt like pure negativity coming from her. I mean, I still do.
Yeah.
But it came to the point where I had to say, how much power am I giving to this person?
Right.
Yes.
Why am I going to bed with this person? I'm sure this person is probably there twerking away.
Twerking.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, they're not
worried
about you.
Like, exactly. So why am I absorbing all of this? Why am I taking all of this on?
Right.
Exactly.
That is so limiting, because one, I'm going to find myself in a depressed space.
Of course.
And that's not just going to affect me. It's going to affect the way I interact with my kids. It's going to affect how I be as a wife. It's going to affect my clients who I serve. So why am I doing that? So it is important that we learn how to be in charge of our influence.
And say what it is. I feel like a lot of people have a problem with like communicating what it is. And some people have problems with understanding boundaries, because if you're communicating with somebody like, okay, like I get that's a problem right now, but I just already have so much on my mind and I'm trying to deal with that or whatever.
That should
you
not
get upset with somebody because they don't want to listen to you when they have their own problems, because you're being selfish.
Exactly. That's the thing. Yeah. That's the thing. If people are off the same mindset that we are, let's say they understand what we're talking about here.
Exactly.
That person should never ever receive that. You saying, listen, I don't want to discuss this now. I don't want to talk about this now, They should never receive that as anything negative. You are rightly gonna understand, this person is just trying to protect their mental space.
It's not personal.
Totally. Sometimes it's not what they're coming to you with. Sometimes it's a time of day. Like, dude, I just got up. I'm not gonna absorb anything because I know in the morning, like whatever energy you take on, and it's not always in the what should I say? It's not always in the form of a person coming to you with something. Yeah. Sometimes it's in the form of what you choose to look at on social media.
First thing,
news, or the phone call you receive, or you know what
all
I mean?
These things.
So you have to remove yourself from the places or from around the people that is not contributing to your growth.
Where do you want to be?
Absolutely.
Where are you gonna go?
I'm not about to discuss, even at home with my husband. Like I go, in the morning, he's probably talking about it. I mean, he's not intentional in doing it.
Yeah.
But I have to say, like, babe, we have to be careful what we talk about when we just get up, because it's gonna set the tone for our day.
Exactly.
And sooner or later,
Right.
maybe an hour later, we're at odds. Like, you're giving me a vibe, I'm giving you a vibe, and we don't even know where it came from.
It didn't come from nothing between you. It's come from an outside influence.
An external influence.
Yes, that has nothing to do with the household or the relationship. It's just, I don't know. It's just,
that's the thing. That's the thing right there.
Just
so
clear mind of saying that. That is
and
really
I also
important.
feel like, if someone has something against you, we were talking about the whole personal thing, like don't take it personal, or that's the thing I'm currently practicing, actually, and that's been like a month journey. If someone has something against me, it's for them to let me know how they're feeling.
It has nothing to do with you.
I'm not going to sit around and try to figure out and just go crazy in my mind, try to figure out how to make you happy, or try to figure out what's going on in your life, yada yada. But if you act a certain way with me, I'm just going to assume that, hey, you have your own things going on. Again, don't take it personal, because it's nothing to do with me, but I will trust in the process and say, if you have something against me, I will just trust that you'll come to me with it and you'll communicate it to me.
If they have a problem, they'll say it.
Right. And that's something I had to teach myself earlier on, because people often associate the fact that someone is giving me a vibe, or they have an issue with me, that it's my to-do. That's not for me to deal with.
Yeah.
If somebody has a problem with me, that's their problem. Best believe I'm going to go sleep at night, because that's your problem. And you need to figure out why you have that problem and how you're going to deal with that problem. That's not for me to do.
It's not.
That's not for me to do.
It's not your. It's not your job.
Yeah.
It's not your business.
It's not an easy thing to do.
It is. It's very hard.
It's it's very hard, and we're human. We have feelings, and I mean, I speak for myself. I'm very fragile. Like, I'm very sensitive to certain things.
Yeah, I'm sensitive.
Like just for example, my boss. We have our daily meetings, and there are times when he's just very overwhelmed or stressed, and there are certain times when the way he communicates with me is just different than, for example, a week ago when he was just bubbly and happy, yada yada. And so the day he communicates with me in a certain tone, I go, whoa, like, what is going on? Is there something going on? Is it because of me? Did I do, did I not perform well? What is going on? But then I just have to sit back and think, hey, I trust my boss, and we have a very close working relationship. So I will trust that if it were ever to be, if him having something against me, or if I didn't do something well, blah, 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 he will give me that feedback. He will communicate it to me. So
yes, of course.
That's something that I'm currently just like practicing, and I think it's a very healthy practice.
That's the hardest one, though.
It is. It's very hard. It's very hard.
Yeah. And I 100% agree with you, because when I just started out, like, it was like deliberate efforts. Like, I'd be mid-tears and having to say, hey, what, and I had to bring myself in check. Yeah, like, what? No, you're not going to do this. Because what people don't know is that your mind is incapable of living two emotions at the same time.
Yeah.
It's sort of like, if you say to yourself, oh my God, I'm so sick, but you're not really sick, like, immediately your mind starts to tell you, oh, you're really not feeling well. And you start to act
It is so true. That is true.
That's how powerful your mind is.
That is so true.
Right?
Yeah.
So I get you. It's hard. People are going to make you feel like you're an issue. But as soon as you remember, because it's not going to be automatic at first.
Yeah.
Because remember, what you're working on is creating a shift. So it's going to take deliberate practice. But as soon as you remember, and I can tell you, I've had those days where I had to say, hey, Kay, come on. You're not doing this today. Like no. And people say, oh, she's crazy. No, it's what works for me, because I know what I want.
Exactly.
And I'm going to choose how much I take on. I've had days like that. And listen, sometimes it can feel so good to allow yourself to just relax and experience it. But you have to pick it, like, as soon as possible.
Yeah.
Pick yourself up. It's
You
not worth
have
it.
to pick yourself up. Don't go into the next day with yesterday's problems, because you're already clouding the day, and it just started. It's a new day.
Right.
And when people say that, it's so true. It's a new day. Today is not yesterday.
Right.
Today is today. And we don't know what today has to bring. So we must go through the day plain. Start off your day great. Deal with the obstacles as they come.
Absolutely.
Don't try to think of them before time. It's just gonna cloud it. It's not gonna make the day good, and you're not gonna enjoy being present right now.
Right.
Because that's all that matters right now. That's the only thing we control is right now.
Right now. That's
it.
so true.
Nothing else.
Absolutely.
Someone said, I don't remember exactly how it was said, but someone said, like, if you worry about something before it happens, and then it goes exactly the way you worried about it, then you stress, you go through it twice.
Yeah, that is so true.
And that was really eye-opening for me. Like,
that is true.
You're putting yourself through that experience twice because you worried about it before it happened, and then now you have to worry about it while it's happening. Like, why would you do that to yourself?
Right.
Why would you do that?
That is a good one.
Yeah.
That is true.
Yeah.
I have to, Keneisha, you're gonna have to write it down. What was it again? If you worry.
Yeah.
Once.
If you worry about something before you actually go through it, and then it goes exactly how you didn't want it to go, then you're gonna put yourself through that experience twice.
Twice, right? Oh gosh, that is so powerful. I like that.
That is so.
And
true.
I had to learn that because with my mindset, hey, I have two brothers, right? Not biological brothers, but I have two brothers, and Jimmy and Janai. And they will, let me tell you, like, they just want to see that one little bit of opportunity for me to act a fool, and they will call me out on it. Sometimes they make me feel so stupid. Like, really, like, why are you worrying about this? You know, why are you doing this to yourself? It didn't even happen yet. And so they are like the ones who really taught this to me. Stop. Like, I get before, and they're like, oh, here she goes again. Ugh. You know, and they make it look like it's crazy that I'm doing that. And I'm like, yeah, but it is crazy.
Yeah, like, it is. Like, it's just really, like, for me, I had to tell myself, like, I literally tell myself, like, every day I wake up, I'm the main character in my story.
Yeah.
I'm the main character in my story. Like, the people around me, like, I choose to put the characters there, take them away. Like, I am in control of literally the whole thing. So I don't have anything to worry about every day, because if I don't want this character there, they're going to be there. If I want this character there, that's up to them. But, you know, it's just really whatever I want to do. Like, I'm in control. This is my life.
But you are.
Yeah, like, I cannot.
You are in control.
Yeah, 100%.
And the problem with people is that they think everyone else is in control when they are really the author of their lives. You know how I wrote this book and I chose what I wanted to say and what I didn't want to say? That's literally how we live every day.
Every day.
Right. What if you could write the next chapter of your life? What would it say? And that's the question I'm really asking people. Because you are literally writing the next chapter of your life.
Yep, however you want it to go. It's gonna go that way.
Exactly.
Like, you know what, Keneisha, I'm gonna start that. I like that practice. That's a good question.
Yeah.
What is your next chapter? What do you want it to look like?
Yeah,
that is so true.
Because literally, you can choose the backspace and delete.
Or you can just stay on the same path.
Yeah.
You can stay on the same path until whatever you want to jump off.
You are in control of that.
Go.
You are in control of that. Like, listen.
Take a detour.
I grew up in an environment where I wouldn't say it wasn't toxic, but the thing is, you can't blame your parents for things they weren't taught.
Exactly.
Or things they didn't learn. So they're going to do the best with what they have. And the things that I know now, I imagine if I were to have been taught those things when I was much younger, in my youth, I can't imagine where I would have been right now. Like I would have been soaring. Because these things that I know, I taught this to myself. I taught this from the people who I saw living these things and having an interest to learn more about it. You know what I mean? It wasn't taught to be innately by my parents.
Yeah.
You know? And it's just crazy. You have to make a choice. Like, I saw a meme the other day, and it says, you are not 100% responsible for the conditioning you received as a child, but you are 100% responsible for fixing it.
Yeah, you want better.
100% responsible for fixing it. And so that's the kind of mindset that I live in every day. I have people who say to me when they hear what my workload is like, they say, how do you do it? Like, how? You know, because yes, I hear people saying, okay, I'm a mother and I have to work. And I'm like, yeah, I am a wife. I am a mother of 2 boys. Let me just put that out there. Okay?
Very important.
I don't have 2 girls. I'm not a girl mom. I have 2 boys.
You don't have balance.
Exactly. I have a 13-year-old and a just turned 8-year-old. And let me tell you something. Those boys they are my alarm clock. They remind me when to eat. They question my insecurities.
All the time.
They point out my weaknesses. They are literally my challenge every single day.
And they're also your hype. And they're also your hype men.
Yeah.
Because one thing about it, they're gonna let you know, Mom, I appreciate you. You're doing the best.
They are also my sweethearts.
Yes.
Like my biggest motivators. Like everything I do, every single thing I do with them in the back of my mind. Because I want them to be better than me. If I have my kids, they should be a better version of me. Not like me,
use you as a blueprint.
Not worse than me, but better than me.
Right.
And I tell people, like, I do this. I am a wife. I am a mother. I have a business. I'm also
You're doing it all, girl. You're doing it
You're
all.
Funny.
Author.
So people say, and
right? How do we not forget about that?
It's not even there yet. Like, for me, it's not even there yet.
It's here.
But, like, they say, how do you manage to do all of this? And
I'm pretty sure I asked you that like the other day. I asked you that.
Probably did. I mean, I have people ask me this like on a day to day. You know, people who know me and know what I do. You know?
Yeah.
I still find the time. And there's not one birthday that my kids have that I decide to put anything in front of them.
Exactly.
So it's a matter of just being in charge of yourself. Like, look at every opportunity as an opportunity to grow yourself, to stretch yourself. As humans, we are already born to take on so much.
Exactly.
Right? But if you continue to live in an enclosed space or in an enclosed mind, then, you know, how much you accomplish is also going to be limited. It's also going to be enclosed. And I don't want that. So I'm always looking for an opportunity. Remember I said earlier that I love challenges?
Yes.
So it's from my challenges that my greatness is being born.
That is true.
I constantly look for ways to just be better. Right?
Yes.
So, yeah, and I think that's basically it.
Yeah.
Any more questions for me? Because we're going to be hopping off here real soon.
You really just answered all the questions. You gave the motivation that needed to be gave. And honestly,
I just want to, sorry, Brittany.
Oh, yeah. No, no, you can say what you had to say. I was just piggybacking off of what was happening. Yeah.
Yeah, well, I just wanted to say, Keneisha, it's, like I always say, you're such an inspiration to me. And I feel really grateful to have a friend like you in my life because I learned so much from you. So much. I mean, I literally told this to my family, my boyfriend. I look up to you and you inspire me. So I feel grateful that you're in my life. And I feel grateful to be a part of this and just, get to see you evolve and get to see each other evolve and be on this journey all together.
That's so beautiful.
I love to see it.
That is so beautiful, Mims. Like you're my girl. You're super special to me, and I'm just so happy. I thank you so much for saying that. I'm happy I can be that person for you, and I just hope I'll be able to just continue to be that person for you and for others as well. I hope.
Yes.
Yeah.
I've been curious since earlier, but who is watching us right now? Is there like people live streaming from the US or? I'm just curious, actually.
Actually,
can you see?
They are.
Can you see who's like online, or is it like people like?
There are people that are on Facebook, but I try not to go on there because I'm seeing notifications coming in from people that are watching. But yeah.
Well, hi everyone. I was just like earlier. I'm just thinking like, who is here?
I'm actually not monitoring comments as most people would have seen because I'm just really trying to have a conversation, and I feel like the three of us having a conversation, if we're all over the place, is trying to navigate everyone's questions and comments. It's probably but I'm always here, guys. Like if you want to direct message me, if you want to ask me questions, I'm all ears. I'm all open. But this was really an opportunity to share my birthday with y'all and to share in the launch of my book as well. So that's what this is. But I'm seeing people liking, but I refrain from going on there, particularly because it's causing a feedback every time I do. And I'm not at this place, I'm not quite sure how to fix that. So pardon me if you don't feel involved. That was not the intention at all. Yeah.
It's okay.
But yeah, this is the thing.
Amazing.
Yeah, and on a final note, I just want to say, like, if people are wondering if I'll be publishing more books, I probably will.
You should. You are.
Okay.
Yeah, you will.
Right.
I actually. I think I will. I know I will.
Yes.
The thing is, I have started a book before I started this one.
Oh wow.
And that's really gonna be more personal because it's like literally my autobiography. Mm-hmm. And what I'm waiting on is the ending. I'm trying to hit a goal, a target that I set for myself. And until I get there, I don't think it would be fair for me to release the book on a lie. Mm-hmm. So it has to be 100% true, and it has to be 100% authentic. By the way, I started that book in 2015, and I'm literally just waiting on the ending. Okay. So once I hit that, of course, your girl is gonna be right back here, waving it around and say, "Hey, I did that."
That's
seller. Well, I don't know. The intention of all of it is just to be that help to someone, an example to someone. Because one of the personal,
I love that. Yeah. That is just so it's attractive, meaning on a like entrepreneurship level mindset. Yeah. It's just attractive to me because oftentimes you hear all these authors like, oh, it's bestseller, and it seems that's all they care about. Yeah. Or maybe not, but it's just like you say, it's very authentic and it's just raw and it's real to hear you saying that, this is my purpose. I just want to touch souls. I want to help someone. Yeah. And I think that's beyond everything.
I just love that you're so relatable. That's what I love about it, because you're the everyday woman. That's really what it is. Because most people they don't have just a clear slate every single day. Right. They don't just wake up and everything's just fine. Like you're making a way. You're still juggling. You're still balancing, and you're able to do these things. So give yourself more credit. You know what I'm saying? Like, I know that you don't want to do that, but honestly, it's hype. Like right now, it's hype right now.
Earlier, one of my sister friends back home, she messaged me and she says, "Hey Ken, I would love to be," and don't come for me, Jody, right? Because I'm sharing this, but she was like, I hope I can attend the launch, because she has some things to do. I'm like, it's not a big deal. You can always catch the replay or whatever. It's like really not a big deal. And she was like, no matter, come smile up yourself. And she literally called me out. She was like, you're an author. That's big. Yeah. I'm like, thank you so much, Jode. I appreciate all the love you, and thank you for everything you've also taught me. Every one of you are so special to me, because as women in business, there is so much I learn and continue to learn from all of you guys. I'm so grateful, because none of this would have been possible had it not been from the experiences that I've had throughout my career. So a big thank you to everyone that has, contributed to me in some way or another.
We are so proud of you, Keneisha.
So proud.
Thank you.
I'm very happy.
Yeah.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you for shining on so much light.
Oh,
all the
so
way. I mean, we're so far away from each other, yet so close.
I know.
Right?
I know.
I was just telling her, I was like, clearly, I need to find people internationally to find a connection. Okay.
No, I mean, this whole technology is just, it's amazing.
It is.
You can do so much from,
it is.
Right, from your couch or from your desk at home.
Maybe my next book launch will be next to you in Morocco.
I'm
hoping.
You know what? I was going to say that earlier, and I was like, okay, I'll just, But you never know. Next launch will be here in Morocco.
13 hours or something like that. Yeah, she's some ways away, but she's here. Yes. Thanks to technology for that. So, I flew here for this launch to be with my girl V.
Yes, for the birthday
in the HTL. Probably next stop is Morocco. Casablanca. Who knows?
Yes,
some sleeping pills.
Ma'am.
Who knows? So that's what we're doing here.
First class.
Yes. Top shelf. Right? Okay.
I know, right?
Mm-hmm.
Oh my gosh. I'm looking forward to it all. Everything.
I know.
And I think that's what's so special about life. It's knowing that you get to go through all these stages and phases of life and these chapters, and you name it, and you're always learning and growing and falling and getting back up, and
it's a never-ending
so much
cycle.
To me it's just so much fun, because I personally don't want that to ever stop, because the day it's gonna stop, it's just like what's next?
Nothing.
Just the deep end. That's
it.
The end.
We're going on adventures every day. We're having experiences every day. We're learning something new every day. It's just exciting to just wake up every morning. And people say they're not a morning person. That's because they wake up with yesterday's problem. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
If you wake up every day, clear, just
ready
to
chapter,
just do.
Page.
Just do. Figure out what the world has for you today.
Right.
What does the world have for me today? What am I gonna take from the world today?
Yeah.
Who am I gonna be today?
Yeah.
Exactly.
So great.
Oh, Lordy.
How do you sign off? I don't even know how you sign off alive. How do you even that's all, folks. What do you say?
Well, it was a good 1 hour plus. It's good time. It's good conversation, and it's just an amazing experience to just share in this with everyone who is on here, and just debuting my book. And what can I say? Order it now. And
yes, order it now. Now.
It's the first step. Literally, if you're on that path already, it will definitely open your mind to just being even more.
Yeah,
So just do
I
that.
agree.
Do that.
Yeah.
All right, guys. We thank you all so much for sharing in
Yes.
my birthday book launch, and I'm gonna go ready to turn things up.
Turn it up in the ATL streets.
Okay. Ready, set, go.
All right.
Hey, ma'am. Hey.
All right. Love you, girl.
Love you
Okay,
too.
hold on.
I know
Have an
you're
amazing
sleepy. It's
day.
nighttime there, huh?